Hello, my gamers and tax evaders alike. I just watched Cruella last night, and boy howdy, I gotta say, that was one hashtag girl boss moment. What a spectacular fucking movie. Cruella has shown to me that Disney no longer knows how to make movies. They know how to put CGI and use green screens, and that's basically the extent of their abilities at this point. Remember when they used to make 2D animated films? Those were good. And fuck, some of the 3D ones were good. Remember Tangled? Tangled was a good movie. Their foray into the live action space has been a fucking disaster, and Cruella just encapsulates how fucking bad a job they've been doing at it. Cruella is the origin story for the famous villain from 101 Dalmatians, Cruella de Vil. And I didn't like the movie at all. So they had a bunch of dogs in this movie, right? 99% of the time that the dogs were on screen, they were CGI, with every now and then I noticed that there was a dog that was actually a real dog. Now, I get it, it's probably more expensive to use trained dogs than to use CGI, but goddamn, it comes out so bad. The CGI was so fucking obvious, I was able to pinpoint it every single time. I'm like, oh, that dog's CGI. That dog is CGI. That's a fucking fake dog, goddammit. And they also use CGI dogs for the scene, which I think a good amount of people should have seen by now, is the the scene where Cruella's mom dies. So Cruella and her mom go to like a fancy party at a big castle to go and, like, I guess ask a person there for Moonies or something. And so while this is happening, Cruella goes into the party, and I guess she riles up some Dalmatians. Dalmatians, remember? And they run outside, and her mom is standing at the edge of a cliff talking to somebody, and the Dalmatians run up, and they fucking knock her off the cliff, and she fucking dies from the Dalmatians. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, that's really, really, really stupid, but that kind of explains why Cruella has a hatred for Dalmatians, right? I mean, she hates Dalmatians because they killed her mom. That's a solid connection. Your neurons are really firing well there. Well, guess what? You're wrong, because later in the movie, that doesn't work. I'll explain as we go along. Cruella ends up in London, where she meets some little rascals, and they become friends, and then they start learning how to steal shit, and it's boring. Cruella ends up getting a job working for the Baroness, who is a fashion designer, and she is a total bitch, a biatch, a bitch. Oh, she's such a hashtag girl boss too. She's got some real hashtag girl boss moments in this movie. The pandering is fucking unreal. They're trying so hard to make it a Joker origin story for Cruella de Vil, but it just doesn't work. Hijinks ensue, and later Cruella realizes that the Baroness has the necklace that her mom used to wear, and she's like, how'd you get that? That's not yours, that's mine, it's a family heirloom. And so Cruella cracks up a plan to go and get the necklace back. By the way, I've been calling her Cruella, but for this entire movie, she's been referred to as Estella. Estella is her real name, but she gets the name Cruella because when she was a little kid, she was just a cruel bitch. She was an asshole. So her mom says, your name's not Cruella, it's Estella. The writing is off the fucking wall on this one. I mean, God, how do they come up with that? That's incredible. But they crack up this whole plan to get the necklace back, and Estella goes into a party where the Baroness is, but she's in disguise. Rather than wearing the disguise that she normally wears, where she has like a red wig on or something, she's got her black and white hair. Whoa, her natural hair color, so nobody recognizes her. And she goes and she strikes up a conversation with the Baroness, and the whole scene is horrible leading up to this. She's like it's like semi-fighting, I think. It's like almost a fight scene, but it's not sure what the scene wants itself to be. Like, it has no idea what it's going for. Is it a fight scene or is it not a fight scene? She's like whacking people with a fucking stick, but there's no fucking purpose behind it. They don't even remove her from the party. The Baroness is like, ooh, I'm interested in you now. And they strike up a conversation. What? Cruella, and she is Cruella right now because she refers to herself as being named Cruella when the Baroness asks what her name is, because that's her alternate character. She steals the necklace, but then one of the Dalmatians eat it, so it's gone. But then after this whole fucking party, she decides she wants to keep LARPing as Cruella and just doesn't leave character. So now for the rest of this movie, since this scene right here, she goes from being Estella to now Cruella for the rest of the movie. She just encapsulates the Cruella thing, and they try and play it off like, oh, Cruella was really who she was on the inside this entire time. She's always been Cruella. She's just expressing it now. What? 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 By the way, just feel I need to mention this. They don't explain the black and white hair at all. There's no explanation. I thought they were going to. I thought that it was going to turn out that her dad was like a big bad king or some shit, a lord, and he has half black and half white hair, and that's why her mom keeps asking her to hide her hair. But no, no, it's not explained at all. Cruella cracks up this whole fucking plan to basically take the Baroness's home and shit, because it turns out the Baroness is her actual biological mother, and that her actual mom was murdered by the Baron, her mom that raised her was murdered by the Baroness, so it's like her one mom, her true mom, killed her other mom with Dalmatians, because she's got a dog whistle that blows, and the Dalmatians went and killed her, because logic. But anyway, Cruella's plan kind of works, and she fucking kills Estella. She lets the Baroness kill Estella so that she can just live the rest of her life as Cruella, essentially. She gets the entire party of the Baroness to, like, go outside and watch the Baroness kill Estella with, like, the weakest fucking push ever. Like, she's just kind of like, ugh, and then Estella goes flying off of a fucking cliff, and she dies. But actually, she doesn't die because Cruella has a fucking parachute in her skirt. She's fashioned a parachute into her skirt. Never tested it or anything, but for some reason, the parachute in her skirt functions perfectly. First try, with no prior fucking testing, and she lands in the water safely and comes back to the party literally minutes later after having fallen down a 800-foot fucking cliff. Minutes later, she's back up on top, and she's taken back the Cruella persona. And now, because Cruella is the true daughter of the Baroness, that means that because the Baroness is getting arrested for murdering Estella, that now her entire land and everything now belongs to Cruella. Because fucking logic, it makes so much sense. And Cruella ends up keeping the Dalmatians, and she likes the Dalmatians. She doesn't blame the Dalmatians for her mother's death, which she points out all throughout the movie. She says, I killed my mom. Oh my God, because she thinks that she was the one who got the Dalmatians riled up. Oh, it was me. I killed my mom. Oh, she never blames the Dalmatians. And then she finds out that it was actually the Baroness blowing the whistle, pointing at the mom that led to the Dalmatians killing her. So she blames the Baroness. At no point throughout the movie does she actually blame the Dalmatians for the death of her mother. At one point, they kind of hint at her being, killing the dogs and making it into a dress. But she didn't. She didn't. The dogs were not killed and made into a dress. They just hint at it for absolutely no fucking reason. And it turns out one of the Dalmatians is pregnant when she gets it. So guess what? Guess what? In the post-credit scene, we see... excuse me. We see the guy who sings the Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. We see that guy. He gets a puppy, a Dalmatian puppy, from Cruella de Vil. And then there's the other lady who gets her puppy from Cruella de Vil. Now, if you're like me, gears are starting to turn in your head. You're like, wait a minute, this is the mom Dalmatian and the dad Dalmatian from 101 Dalmatians that gave birth to the massive litter. They're brother and sister! Because they both were given birth to by this one Dalmatian that Cruella owns. So, the Dalmatians in 101 Dalmatians, the mom and the dad, are biological brother and sister. Because this movie establishes that. So, the gross incest aside, it still has... It doesn't explain how Cruella goes on to want to murder Dalmatians. Or it doesn't explain anything. It explains nothing. It's so fucking stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It was unnecessary. They were trying so hard, like I mentioned, to make this into a Joker origin story, because now every fucking villain needs an origin story, right? The Joker did it really well with Joaquin Phoenix. It was done really well. But with Emma Stone as Cruella, it came out fucking stupid. Emma Stone was she was overacting so hard in the movie. She's American, so she doesn't have a British accent, so she was putting on an English accent throughout the movie, and it sucked. It was bad. She doesn't know how to speak like an English person. But here's the thing, not every single villain needs a Joker origin story. Cruella de Vil does not need a Joker origin story. She literally is just an evil, sociopathic old lady in 101 Dalmatians who just wants to make puppies into a coat. She's just pure evil. It doesn't make sense. My headcanon for the movie is that moments before 101 Dalmatians, Cruella just climbed out of the depths of hell, and that's just where she came from. This will be my last video ever. I'll see you all in hell.